On. What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, it's Leanne. We are here live with my good friend, Maria Kyriakidis with Uriels Fire. How you doing, Maria?
Hi, thank you for having me, Leanne.
You're welcome, love. So guys, this is a heart-based community podcast series. We're on number 10. We're making sure that every chance that I have in my little bit of time, that people that I love and that people I believe in that also reflectively need that little accountability and have the ability to grow, show, shine, and flow with List Out Network, with Conscious Living Radio, with Unite. All of us are contributing to a better moment here and now to serve each other and to make a heart-based community. So that's what it's all about. And having Maria here, she's a friend of mine that I met through Aveda and through my dear friend Miriam. And I've had the ability to see some of her work, feel her out, and we're going to talk a little bit about all the wonderful things that she does. So Maria, why don't you first of all tell us a little bit about Uriels Fire. This is the name. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about all the other aspects of you.
So Uriels Fire is a name that just came out of the blue recently because I have a diverse portfolio of healing work that I do. So my biggest thing was, how do I integrate all these things? Like how am I going to do it? So my messages kept being diversify. So I'm like, okay, diversify. How do I diversify? For me, working with angels, that's one of the things that I do. I do channeled work and I do healing work with Reiki and integrated energy therapy treatments, which take out on a cellular level past patterns that unfortunately sabotage many of us from moving forward. So, and Uriel is a very strong energy. Uriel's energy is like the thunderbolt. It's the lightning. It's like, come on, inspiration. And it's also like he also kind of rules Uranus, which is, humanity and brotherhood and sisterhood and higher consciousness, which is where we're going. We are ascending into that. So I said, okay, you got it. I'm not resisting you anymore. Come on down. So Uriel's Fire was born. And I just feel that name just encapsulates everything that I want to do within the different domains and integrates everything that I want to do. So that's a little
about, yeah. And Uriel
like
is
Uriel.
Uriel, guys, so let's get a little bit into Uriel. Uriel is an archangel.
Yep.
Of the North Node.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and those are things that I've been learning on my journey with Ascension. And then also I did learn that with Steve Noble. I've read many books on Ascension too, and I really feel so grateful to Egypt too, friends, where I learned about how when we place the angels in different directions and that we meditate, we can actually come into a quicker connection with our higher self. So I feel knowing Maria and then feeling out her aura, feeling out the things that I've seen from my higher self, there's been so many moments where I see the angels with her. And I want to share that, reflectively, because I'm in tune. I'm able to have my third eye open. You guys can see it. That opened in 2007. So when I see many things from here and then from there. And I'm grateful to Maria, and that's why I wanted to have her here, is to help reflect with her and share her wonderful next steps of her journey and accountability to her loving, compassionate work that she has the ability to serve with source energy, with the archangels, and come out to the community one by one and touch the hearts and lives with her background. So we'll get into her background now. With clinical hypnotherapist. Why don't we talk a little bit about that? Tell us how this came about.
So hypnotherapy, I was always attracted to hypnosis. In 2014, I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I studied at the academy of Hypnotherapy of America. So it was about a full 3 month course. I actually lived in New Mexico for 3 months while I was studying, and the group of people was just amazing. The teachers were just out of this world, and the group that we just, it was like a tribe coming together. Like we knew each other from, and some of us did know each other from past lives. So I'll just break it down. So clinical hypnotherapy, what it means is someone that is able to use hypnosis in order to alleviate pain. So that could be for surgery. So someone having a dental procedure, instead of having anesthesia, you can actually practice with someone and bring them to a point where they don't need anesthesia for surgery. So that was one. And then hypnosis is hypnosis, normal hypnosis, which is to help people with different kinds of phobias, different kinds of issues that they've been having that they can't release. And then we also studied, I went on to study natal regression, interlife, and past life regression. So those were actually, I know you did another podcast called the Woo Woo, which was pretty cool. Well, a lot of people, like, not everybody stayed till the end to do this. And it was quite interesting because, when you say past life or natal regression, a lot of people think, oh, whatever, people make it up. And it's like, no, the experiences were, I can say to you, more profound than just the regular hypnosis that we were doing. Like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds, or oh, I want to quit smoking, or oh, I want to break this habit, or whatever, get over this phobia, right? It went really into the root of our essence, of our soul, of why we came into this earth, why the parents that we chose to come through as channels, and what was your mission, as that soul, and that was part of the natal regression. The interlife was before you came through the birthing canal of your mother, how you chose your parents and why. It was mind blowing, and the past life was obviously self-explanatory. Past life, and it's seeing yourself in situations, and when you come out of the hypnosis, having this clarity, like the first, especially half an hour, when you come out and you have, like, you're still like vividly remembering everything, and it's kind of like a dream where you need to write it down when you wake up, right? Because it's so clear. You have these amazing haha moments where it's like, oh my God, like, this is why I have this in this life. This is why I react to this. It's really, Leanne, it's profound. It's like nothing to laugh about and nothing to scoff about. Because if there's one thing about hypnotherapy that we all realized when we were working on each other, is it's never about what you sit in the chair for. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
So you could sit in that chair and think, well, I don't know, I like to eat too many sweets. Well, what does that really mean? Why do you like to eat sweets? Where is the emotional part of that coming from? And it goes from, I just want to quit eating sweets, to something that you never thought was the root of that. So I mean, can go on and on, but that just gives you like a little bit of a synopsis of what it is. And yeah, so that was quite powerful for me to do, and I was blessed to be able to do it. And I've helped people along the way. This I did in 2014, and it's just, yeah. So I'm originally from Montreal, and I've moved with everything that happened. I ended up moving to Vancouver, so it's kind of, I'm in this like restart now again, because with everything that's happened, we've had to kind of reinvent ourselves on more of, the internet. And whereas before it was, why I'm explaining this is before I'm on like one-on-one, because it's therapy, right? It's one-on-one when you're doing healing work, when you're doing energy work, when you're doing counseling, everything was one-on-one. So I'm used to having this interaction with people on a energetic level. So this is so bear with me because this is a little it's baby steps, right? It's relearning, reinventing, and creating something different, right? It's something new. So
Well, if I can interrupt and I can just say,
yeah,
I feel like the beautiful thing in reflecting you is holding space. The other thing is when we learn, we look within. And when we're learning and absorbing things like hypnotherapy, or like you're talking past life regression, it's a whole other dimension of us that we need to hold space to witness, to relearn and remember, and then to unlearn some things at the same time. So I'm holding space for that for you, because likewise, what you're doing for other people is you're taking that knowledge, that inner understanding, the inner guidance, the blessings of Uriel, and then you're able to integrate and then transform the moments for the people that are in front of you. And this is what the light workers path is all about, is also going into the depths of the light and the darkness, understanding how to be observant, but to use these wisdoms to show you you're so much more.
Oh yes, definitely. It's really beautiful to have that higher understanding. I mean, in 2014, that was only 8 years ago, but before that, my I've always been sensitive. I've always been able to see people's colors. When I was really young, I saw a little bit too much, if I could say, to the point where it scared me, and I think I kind of shut it off. I must have been about 5 or 6 years old that I saw something really, really scary around someone. And it kind of, I was a child. So it was like, no, I don't want to see. I don't want to see. So then I was just hearing. I would have messages, which many times saved my life as a child, and warnings, and so much protection. It was like insane. So I could feel, I could sense, and to some degree I could see, but with a lot of filters, because as people that have a lot of light, they attract a lot of also dark, and especially when they're young, because you haven't learned to navigate that area of your life, and if you're not in an environment that can nurture that and help you with that, you're really basically on your own. So I was blessed to have all that protection, and then as I moved forward, I really started getting into astrology. So that was the number one thing I started with, because I always had this thirst to understand what people take, not just on an energetic level, but on the whole, like, body, mind, spirit. So astrology, I started in my 20s. So it's like over 25 years now that I've been studying charts and
25 years young.
Yes, 25 years. I won't tell you my age. I have my silver. I've allowed my silver to come out, my beautiful silver fox personality to come out. But
and you're beautiful.
So 25 years of astrology. Thank you. And then I did the Reiki and the integrated energy level therapy master instructor. So I started incorporating the energetic slowly, baby steps. And then for about 15 years, I had an aesthetics business. So I was also bringing all of that into my aesthetic. So my clients became not just aesthetic clients. They would come and they would have therapy. It was like, it was kind of, this was when you leave Maria's room, you don't just have a facial or a bikini wax, you have therapy. So it was cool. It was nice to be appreciated in that way. So it was just like, an evolution of things.
Because you're doing your work on you too. So reflectively,
always,
even with those tools,
yeah,
there's going to be moments that you're tapping in and you see something because you've done that work. That's that right. The other person actually needs that.
Right.
right? So that's how
Any-
multidimensional people are. You're multidimensional.
Anything that I find many times when I'm channeling something to a client, it's always something that you need to also hear as a channel yourself.
Mhm.
There's something that brings into you that whatever that you kind of like attract clients, because we all attract different kinds of clients and different kinds of patients, right?
Mhm.
Because uh, it's also part of your healing. This is why I don't particularly like to say I'm a healer. I'm a channel for healing, because
Mhm.
it's the person that allows the healing to happen. So even in hypnotherapy, you're doing something called co-entrainment. So I am in there with you, and I am trying to reframe your negative beliefs or your negative experiences, and reframe it back into your higher mind, into your subconscious, and get it and just give it a different spin so that it won't affect you anymore.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's really quite interesting. It's quite enlightening
Well,
and humbling.
I like how you're using a lot of like the past regressions, because even in our family life, there's past regressions in,
Yeah.
up to our first 20 years. There's like the past regressions of what our parents made us believe who we are. Then we go
Yeah.
into our own, our next 7-year cycle of like, well, I thought it was that, but now I'm this. And then another
Yeah.
7-year cycle, and then evolution of the inner body, the mind, the spirit. So there's
That's
so
right.
much to this being a clinical hypnotherapist. You're a soul evolutionary astrologer. So what's soul evolutionary?
So there's a lot of wonderful astrologists out there that do, just do charts, and they do their thing. My use of astrology is I don't work with, how can I say this? There's a certain type of predictive astrology, but I don't focus on, well, in a month, this is going to be what's going to happen to you. I will integrate it into how is it going to make you grow as a person. So that's soul evolution. I look at your chart, I look at where your planets are, in what house that you are needing to grow and learn from, because not everybody's the same. I mean, you're for example an Aries. I could put 10 Aries in a room, but they're going to have certain characteristics that are similar, but they're not all going to be the same. They're not all going to be exactly like verbatim the same way.
Mm,
So it's an individual soul, and for me, someone's birth chart is sacred. I like when someone honors me with their information, it's a sacred thing for me, because they're allowing me to look at a very deep and personal part of themselves that they're
mm,
not even aware of. And
yes.
so to me, you have to have integrity. It's not like, yeah, Leanne, let me do your year and blah, blah, blah. I don't work that way. So if somebody just wants to come for a quick fix, I don't, that's not part of my journey. Maybe someone else can do it, but it's not part of my journey. I like to help. I like to use all my tools to help the highest healing and learning for that uh, client. So
Beautiful.
I'm honest. I'm honest. Sometimes to my detriment, but yeah, that's
Good.
my thing. I use it to help the person move forward in their life. Yeah.
And our community needs that. We need people that are really considering the whole circle of the individual reflectively. And that's, and there's a lot even in the understanding when we dive deeply into ourselves, we continue on this journey of diving deeply into ourselves, the unlearning, the learning every day for people that are on the path of ascension and awakening. So reflectively, we have to consider that everybody has the ability to ascend.
That's
And
right.
so in order to reflect the ascension, we need to hold space for all the different areas of that individual. So you have clinical hypnotherapist, coach, consultant, soul evolutionary astrologer, intuitive channeled readings. Let's talk about that.
So the intuitive channeled readings, how I work, I could be speaking to someone, sometimes even a friend will call me and we'll just be talking, and they'll be telling me what's going on in their world, and or if they have a specific problem. And it's basically I listen to what they say, and then it's always from this side. It's a really weird thing with me ever since I was a child. It's always on the right side that it just comes out. And sometimes I have to say this. Um, this is why part of Uriel's Fire is I laugh because it's so me. It is me. Is that it comes out and it's so powerful, Leanne, that sometimes it comes out like really strong, and and almost like I can't control it sometimes. It's the
Mm,
message comes through so strongly that
mm.
it's like raw, it's like rah, you're like roaring. And it's like, why are you angry? I'm not angry. It's just coming through me. I can't, it just it's bigger than me. I'm only 5'4". It's just like I feel like it's just flowing through me.
Beautiful,
And yeah, so
beautiful.
it's one of the ways that I read is by people telling me what's going on. And then what I do is I take away their illusion, because we all have a story that we tell ourselves of how
Yeah,
we get into things, right?
yeah.
So it'll be like I'll be listening to someone say what they're saying, and it's like, no, no, this is because this and this and this. And then I'll let them continue. No, this is because of this and this and this. And it's like, you know, it's the intention behind the intention behind the intention. And
Mm,
once you get that, even all of us, when we're talking about something or when we're experiencing something and we're relaying it to someone else, it's not only from our perception, but if something happens to us, we don't really express what our real, true intention was from the beginning. We like to sugarcoat it. We like to say, "Well, I did this and this happened," and it's like, really, what was your intention before you engaged in that action, or you sent out that thought, or I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, very important. Let's talk about that too. So here we are talking about intentions, but being aware, first of all, what is the mind too? Because my years of experience was to rediscover a state of no mind. So I understood the mind. And when I
mhm,
understood the mind, I was able to catch the thoughts, and then I became the observer of them. So as we're mastering and how you're sharing information, you're doing all that inner work, you have
yeah,
all these options that you've done the work on you. Now
mhm,
you have the ability to reflect others. It's really coming back to, are they witnessing their thoughts? Are they able to tap into the fire also, like
yeah,
allowing that space for Uriel's fire not only just to come through you, but to be an offering that's above them.
yeah. But not everybody's ready to receive the message, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
this is where I have over the years been very careful with how I speak to people. I try as much as possible uh, uh, for it to be a little more gentle. I try, but I don't sugarcoat. I can't. It's not my energy. It's not my it's not in my belief system as a channel. Uh, I do know how to soften the blow, but however, if I see someone is keeps coming back for the same thing after I've spent countless like hours explaining and showing and trying, then it's gonna be like the fire is gonna come out, and it's gonna be like, well, you know, eh, your teeth are falling out because you never brush your teeth. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's a stupid analogy, but I'm just trying to make it like silly, right?
The
It's like
basic
your
things. You
teeth
just said
are
basic
rotting.
things.
Your teeth are rotting. Well, how many times do I have to tell you you need to take care of your teeth? You need to get cleanings. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to, take care of that issue that is creating all these problems for you. Because a lot of people just like to complain, Leanne. They just love complaining. They love being in their drama. They love complaining, but not really doing anything about it. So it's a struggle sometimes. It is. And I'm not someone that is motivated. I mean, listen, money is great. and because money is energy. But if that's your only motivation as a healer, whatever you want to call a lot of people, well, in the end, it does come and hit you in the head, because at some point you're not authentic anymore. So I believe, like I said before, you will draw the people that are ready for your energy, and the ones that are not, they're gonna go to someone else that maybe fits their vibe or strokes what needs to be stroked.
For their
And they're
ego or whatever it is. Yeah.
exactly.
So coaching and consultant, what's that part?
Well, that is the whole integration of everything I know.
Okay.
So like if you come to me and you say, this is what I want to do, and you have an issue of something, you tell me what it is. And like I said before, as you're telling me the scenario, or as you're telling me the plan, or as you're telling me what is going on in your life, I am able to say, well, if you do this, you do this. This is going to happen. If you want to do this, you have to do step 1, step 2, step 3. And that's, it just flows. And it could be about anything. It could be about business. It could be personal. It could be, again, it's part of that whole integrative way that I do things. So because therapy is a type of coaching. You're consulting with people, right? You're trying to get them to be their best self in this world. So it's kind of combined, because when you're a therapist, you are a consultant. You are doing that work, right?
So why don't we go into being your best possible version, and then because Uriel is such a powerful channel with you, why don't we focus a little bit about what does Uriel feel like for you? Because I feel like that higher aspect reflection of Uriel is really the kingdom that you're trying to bring through, so that people remember their light. So might reflect a little bit about, like, how did you connect with Uriel? What do you feel when you're with Uriel?
Uriel, my dear, is not an easy energy. He is not. I don't know why, but I see him as more of a masculine energy. Here's the thing. In astrology, Uriel is the lightning bolt. So he represents the planet Uranus and the sign of Aquarius. So very, very spontaneous, like spontaneous inspiration, spontaneous creativity, spontaneous. It could be also catastrophe, like just coming out of the blue, somebody pulling the rug from under you. Now, in my personal chart, I was born with, I was born in the mid 60s. I'm a flower power child. And I was born during the time in the 60s where Pluto, the planet of the underworld and deep transformation, and Uranus were in conjunction in Virgo. So I'm a Gemini with a Virgo ascendant, and I have these two planets on my ascendant. So from the moment I was born, it's like, woohoo! I in my life, 1 year is the equivalent of somebody else's 10 years, you know. So I've always had a very crazy life, a lot of ups and downs. Not being able to ground, and every time I would try to create roots, it would just totally explode and backfire on me. It took me a long time to finally kind of embrace what that meant, because in this life I'm not supposed to be that way. You see, like you said, we have, our conditioning, right? I mean, I come from Greek background, so, and in my age group, it was basically, what do you do as a woman? You get married and you have children and you buy the house, and you do all of, like, that is the normal Middle Eastern Mediterranean kind of mindset, which is really strong in the ethnic communities. North Americans, they had a little bit more freedom. Yes, there were certain expectations, but like growing up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, this was kind of the mindset, of those communities. So, every time I would try to conform, there's that word. Every time I would try to conform, it would just blow up in my face. And it'd be like, Uriel, no, 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 no. It's not for you because you're meant for something else. So
Mm.
it's been quite a journey, Leanne. It's been quite not always easy, sometimes extremely painful, extremely scary. And it's taken me a long time to just trust, like just because when you come from that world where nothing is stable and nothing is for certain, you develop that fear of when things are good. Oh, how long are they going to be good for, right?
Mm.
You have that kind of like feeling. Okay,
Mhm.
how long is this going to last before I get like knocked over, right? So
Mhm.
I had to switch that around and reframe it and reframe it to say, no, everything that happens is happening for your highest good, because the
Good.
more you fight it, the more pain you're going to have, and the
Mm.
more you're not going to move out of that darkness faster. So that's Uriel. Uriel is enlightenment, right? And it's quite powerful. It's not an easy energy to work with. For a long time, I worked with Michael. Archangel Michael is always with me. He's popping out left, right, and center. I've worked with most of the angels, but Uriel, it's just so funny because it's always what we don't want to embrace, or we're like pushing away, that's going to be your biggest breakthrough, right? That's the energy. And it was like, oh, for the longest time, no, I can't handle you. You just bring disruption in my life. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? It was like, no, no, leave me alone. But I tell you, he walks in front of me. He's always in front of me. Even when chaos is happening, he's in front of me. So, and Michael is sitting there saying, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, so it's quite, it's, you have to kind of like engage in their energy in a very light. They are light. It's us that creates the heaviness, right? But they are light. They're there to just constantly remind us to love ourselves. Number one, to love ourselves. We're so busy doing for others that we forget how to love ourselves. And that is the most sacred. It is the most sacred thing that we can do in this dimension and any other planetary dimension. Is to love ourselves and accept ourselves, and just bring out the greatest gifts that we have to bring to the world. And this is why I one of the things that I would like moving forward, that I would like to do, is really concentrate a lot on children and young adolescents and young adults. Why? Because especially with a lot of the children that are born with very sensitive the sensitivities and the empaths, and the ones that have these gifts, that they have no one around them to, like,
Like indigo children. Indigo
yeah,
children.
indigo, crystal, rainbow. But you see, they've all been like twisted with everything that's been going on in the last few decades. They haven't allowed them to really empower who they are. Very few got through, but some of them did it. And they were, the drugs, they drugged them, they made them crazy, or they made them feel like what they were seeing or feeling or hearing, that there was something wrong with them. And it's just criminal for me personally, because I know what that feels like. And so of course, what we want to do and help is exactly what we've experienced, to help others, not to experience the same kind of, let's say, trauma or blockages. And we really need these children. We really need these children right now, moving forward, because and that's my, whatever, that's my mission at this point, is in this point in my life, in this age, is to move forward and help these children, and say, no, this is using astrology, using what they came for, and giving them the tools at a young age, clearing them of the baggage as much as possible that they were indoctrinated with from the womb, because it starts from the womb, okay, from when the mother is carrying the child. So using all of those tools in helping, all these young people move forward and having a more rewarding and satisfying life, and bringing more light into this world that unfortunately is, there's like this spiritual war going on right now, and we really need a lot of light. And actually there is a lot of light that's coming down. It's thousands of years that we haven't had this much photonic light, and it is helping the ascension. And many people have been feeling these weird, not sleeping and not feeling good and having all these like ailments. And the more you fight it, the worse it is. I really think people need to stay in really high intraceuticals and take care of themselves right now, especially people that are sensitive like us. Really take care of their environment. I mean, I'm wearing these glasses. I don't want to be a diva, but these are like, this is for EMF, this is for EMF, this is for EMF, and back of my phone it's EF. You know what I mean? Like, we really need to take that seriously, because that energy disrupts and can actually like damage us, and keep us from allowing to focus on what we need to do.
So
It's,
good.
yeah.
So with that being said, friends, we have reached our timeline here, and we got so much to continue to learn from. Please do add Maria Kyriakidis, Uriels Fire also. We'll put links under this video. She's a clinical hypnotherapist, coach, consultant, soul evolutionary astrologer, intuitive channeled readings, all coming more and more on her page. Please click share, follow, and so good to be with you, Maria, today. Thank you so much for opening your heart and all your bravery. We finally got this done, and we will meet for lunch this week, but God bless everybody to get connected. Let's rise consciousness and heart-based community projects with your girl, Leanne.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.